wanted to ask you, because we're at a festival with so many good performers, I wanted to ask you about some performances that you've seen over the years that maybe when you were in high school or even later that really stuck out, that really affected you.
One that comes to mind is I saw Duane Eddy when I was about 12 at the Oakland Auditorium. He was on a show with, it's one of those, well, it's not so unusual, not so much different than this. It was a show with many performers, called something like Cavalcade of Stars or something. Many of the other artists, though, were R&B artists, like the Midnighters, B.B. King, James Brown, Jackie Wilson, and here was Duane, I dare say one of few white faces. But he was a big idol to me at the time, as were all the other people. And because Duane, how can I say, was so influential to guitar playing, I got a big kick out of that performance.
I also wanted to ask you about cover songs, because I know your last record has a few, and Bonnaroo is so much about cover songs. A lot of artists here do covers. So I want to ask you maybe about artists throughout who have covered your songs in the past that you really like. Did you ever get a chance to see Ike and Tina do Proud Mary?
Oh yeah, we actually toured with Ike and Tina, probably 1971. Creedence, I think the trio incarnation did a tour with them as on the bill. And of course I've seen her on TV. That's one of the really remarkable versions of my songs. Guy named Al Wilson did a version of Lodi long time ago. That was very cool. I believe Freddie King did a version too. I think he called it Low Down and Lodi.
Mm-hmm. And I also wanted to ask, since we're in the South and so much of your music is influenced by and comes from that tradition, how does it feel to be playing in Tennessee? Have you had a lot of chance to play in Tennessee and in the South and in the Bayou and everywhere?
Yeah, I've been here quite a few times over the years. It's always great to be back in the South. It for some reason has really resonated with me. I think the only reason it's a subject is because everybody knows I came from California, and it's still odd to me why I had such an attraction. I mean, it went back before I could talk about it. I don't know if it's the music. I don't know if it's the way of speaking, meaning the accents, and the way of telling stories. It was always part of me, and it was really only after my success with Creedence that people started asking that question. Up until then, I thought everybody felt that way. Mm-hmm. I literally did. I just thought everybody thought the South was the coolest thing in the whole world,
I guess one of the last questions I want to ask you is, if you were having a festival, I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you were having a festival, are there 3 bands or artists, living or dead, that you can think of that you would love to have, that you would curate and get to see?
I'd have Jimi Hendrix. I'd have Led Zeppelin. And I'd have Bill Monroe.
Have you gotten to see Jimmy, and have you gotten to see them?
I'd never actually met or saw Jimmy, even from afar. We were on a couple of festivals, an amazing amount of them, from between 68 and 70, but we're never in the same room at the same time. Never seen Led Zeppelin either. I've met a few of the guys, but those are 2 great rock and roll bands right there. If you gave me 10 more choices, I could go on and on. To answer your first question, one of the people I saw perform that has always stayed with me was Jackie Wilson. Even though he was kind of a smooth singer and all that, I love the song Lonely Teardrops. But when he came out on the stage was very intimate at the Oakland Auditorium, right? And I was in the front row. I got there early. It was coming, and so I probably got there at 3 o'clock, right by the door they're going to let you in, and waited until they let us in at 6:30 or something. So I was right there. And Jackie came out, and all the women fell out. They just fell apart. And, you know, I looked and watched how he moved it. I mean, it was Elvis, basically. And he had that. All the women suddenly just, and of course the guys follow, because, hey, where are you going? And so it was basically a riot, a well-mannered riot. But, you know, Jackie did like a couple songs, and then the guy came out, and the MC guy, Bouncing Bill, said, now you all you're wrong, something like that. Everybody had to go back to their seats, and then Jackie finished the show. But he looked like some sort of very graceful animal, like a leopard, you know, and he was skinny, and the clothes fit just right, and he, you know, the way he moved, it was pretty remarkable, and he knew what he was doing too. So it was, I must say, whenever I think about that, probably no more than 30 minutes, it still affects me.
That's great. Well, thank you, John Fogerty. It was really a pleasure to meet you and talk to you.